Motorsports. I'm your host Isaiah, and today we're going to do a couple of things. We're actually going to install the hood pins because the hood latch wasn't working out too well, and we're going to swap out the overflow bottle for the radiator, and we're going to add in the blow-off valve to the equation, which is the piping to get welded. So let's dive in, let's get started. Okay, so we are going to start here. Nice hood, just kidding. So I put everything back on the Mirage just to see how everything looks. Are you ready? Well, here it goes. Look at that. It is a work of art. You look at that. Huh? Looks pretty good. We got intercooler peeking through there, which is going to be completely done soon. And she's looking very aggressive. She's just looking all sorts of good. Granted, this isn't the final time I'm going to put on this bumper, but I just wanted to get an idea of what I'm working with, and then the subtle repairs and fixes all along the lip to make sure it's dead flush even. But one of the things that I ended up deciding not to go with is the factory hood prop. So I modified it. It works. I took it for a drive. Didn't pop open, which, you know, is a good thing. But I don't like this gap issue. Looks like it's open. So what we're going to do is we're going to do hood pins. Okay, so let me pop the hood and let's take a look at what we're working with and where we're going to put it. Okay, and we are back. So we're going to be using this newer style hood latch, hood pin type of deal where you push it, unlocks it. So I'll have the use of all three. So this one will make sure the hood doesn't fly anywhere. These make sure it'll sit nice and level, and we're gonna install it. So basically, looking for the perfect spot for the base to sit on and lock in is actually made pretty simple. If you look at the hood, it has this area right here, equal on both sides, that's begging for a hood pin. So we're definitely going to oblige and put this directly in there. So it's going to be hood pins right there. Okay, so if you look at the actual hood, it's on the same spot on both sides. Don't pay attention to the hood latch because that is not centered through the center beam. So we're going to go from A, and then to B. Has a little dimple. They really make it simple. They knew what was going to be happening to these cars, which is funny. But I do have to take out the grill, the headlight to get access to the bottom of this and kind of take it from there. So let's get started. Actually, before we get fully started, we need to make sure that the hood is exactly where you want it. So let me put the grill back. I took the locking mechanism out just so you can see exactly what I mean, because if you are trying to put in the hood pins and the hood latch keeps locking on you, take it off and actually do it this way. Put your grill back on there. So we're going to take this, make sure it's even. Make sure you also have all of your plastic clips. Alrighty. Push all of this in. And as you can see, I damaged my intercooler from trying to modify it, but it's perfectly okay. It's not interrupting any flow or anything like that. So I'll probably try to fix that a little bit. But anyway, So you're going to want to put it like that, take your hood latch out, and close your hood. Okay. So from here, you can actually see what it's supposed to look like. Let's say you didn't like the way it looks for some reason and you wanted it to be a little bit lower. Like in my case, I need to lower it over here and lower it over here just a tad. This is what you do. You take and put up your hood. Like so. And you see these rubber pieces? These actually are threaded to hold your hood at a certain position. And you have one on each side. So let's say I want to lower the hood. I take and twist this in. Let's just say one full turn for both sides, because this actually holds the hood to a certain spot so it locks properly. But we're doing a custom locking mechanism, so it's going to be a little different. So now we close the hood and take a look again. You see that? Now that corner is even and that corner is even. And that's where we want it. So now we can continue. Okay, so drilled the hole. Came out pretty good. Both sides. I ended up using a 732, which is the size of the bit. Oh, sorry, antenna in the way. And of course, you definitely want to use whichever bit size is your rod size. So I'm going to basically pop the button off, and I'm going to start locking this down, and yeah, we should be good to go. This is two 10 millimeters, and yeah, that should be good. Steel. Good. And then yeah, we're going to do the bottom end, and then we're going to start moving towards the hood. So stay tuned for that. All right, so both of these are in, and for obvious reasons you want to make sure that it is extremely tight. It's a good fail safe just in case. All right, and what we're going to do is we're going to take a marker. This one's kind of like you gotta wait for it to dry pretty much, but basically you're gonna shake this one up because it has a ball in it, and you're gonna paint the top of this on both of them, and then bring the hood down. It's gonna make a mark on the hood so you know exactly where to drill. Okay, and then once you drill that, you're gonna have to do it one more time because there's two layers here. So got to go through the first one, then you go through the second one on top, and then we're gonna get to that point. But until then, hang tight. Let's get the first process done, and then we'll move on to the next. All right, and as you see, it hit a piece of the rubber, and a dot is right there. And same deal for over here. All right, so we're going to drill that out, and then we're going to move on to the second layer. Okay, so once you finally get it in order to tighten the nut on the back, you are going to need a 5/16, and I would highly suggest impacting it in and making the hole big enough. That's probably where the hole saw comes in handy, to get this hole here big enough to tighten the nut back there. So definitely do that, and I will be back. So after you finish using this bit, You want to use this on the base metal beforehand, and then it's going to be a different size for the top. So this makes to where you can actually put a socket, that'd be that guy right there, on the actual top piece, and it actually locks everything down pretty good. All right, so that is the ending result right there. I'm going to reassemble everything, and of course you see we're a little high. That basically means that we can adjust the actual bar down a little bit more, and I can do that on both sides and it'll actually come out pretty good. So I'm going to adjust the bar, and without the headlights in there you can actually see the bar, well, some of it, but that nut right up top there, you're going to want to bring that down until it's actually pulling the hood down. So yeah, gives me a little bit of room. That's going to look great. Let me adjust everything, put everything back together, and let's see what we're working with. And here we have it, the finished product. And basically, we're going to test it out, make sure it works properly. And it does. So, right now, I only have the hood pins on here just to see how I like it. And then I will put the hood latch back after I do more cleaning up of it and everything, which won't take long. But so far I love it. It works perfectly. Put the hood down, lock, lock. It's not flying up on you. So it's as simple as that. And yeah, on to the next thing. Okay, so next order of business pertains to the coolant overflow. Now, I've seen a comment just yesterday actually, and they had a great idea of using the Evo 4 because it actually goes over this way and sits right over the engine mount. I'm going to drop a picture right over here just so you could see it. And yeah, I mean, I think that's a really great idea. But I actually have a different idea that actually gets this out and something new in that's a little bit more low profile and less in the way, so to speak. And less of an eyesore. It's sitting over there, a clear bottle along with the rest of the bottles, but hopefully what I'm about to add will kind of blend in a little better. And I'm gonna install it now, but I'll easily be able to remove it and clean this area up here and put it back in. So let me show you what that is. So let me take this one out, including the hose and the bottle, and I'm going to show you the new item I got. Okay, so here it is. Excuse the noise in the background, it's cut the grass time for some neighbors, but anyway. So here it is, and basically what you do is you connect the line from there to this guy, and there's a pinhole at the top so it receives vacuum and pressure and all of that. And once it reaches the top, it sort of comes out the pinhole, which just kind of comes over the whole thing. But I mean, they'd have different versions of this. I think this one will do pretty decent. I don't have issues with overflow. Who knows? I might once I go boosted, but we'll see. We'll see. So got a good radiator cap, and we're going to add this in the system. I'm thinking of putting it right here like that, just so it's not in the way of anything that I need to do. So that way it looks a little bit more clean, a little bit more tamed, and kind of take it from there. So let's install it. Okay, so I drilled the hole and I used this guy here, M6 1.25, and locked in a thread for the bolt, and that is hard mounted. So we're good to go. All we have to do is add the hose. And I gotta say, the better the tools, the better quality the job looks, and we'll kind of take it from there. But let me see. Yep, M6 came out perfectly, and yep, just gonna add the hose. Okay, and just like that, it is connected. Got the clamp there. It's hooked to the bottom of the tank. If you open this up, which I put it on there kind of tight, this is where all of the liquid activities happen. And basically what you're gonna do is you're gonna fill this up with your preference of coolant, which is perfectly fine. And what this does is this cuts out the middleman from the original. The original, on the cap, it had a tube that went all the way to the bottom. So instead of having a tube going all the way to the bottom, the hose just goes to the bottom. Keeps it simple and does what it's supposed to do. Again, we have our vented cap, so that works out perfectly. It doesn't build up pressure and blows out or any craziness like that. And that is complete. Okay, last but not least, we are going to add this blow-off valve into circulation here. So basically I decided to go with the Greddy Type S knockoff. Reason being, I use the knockoff, it's cheaper, and I heard this actually holds more boost than the original. So when it comes to these knockoffs, one thing you do want to do is make sure that the diaphragm up here is sealing properly. As you can see here, I already sealed this unit. As soon as I got it, I put vacuum on the back of here, and it had like a slow leak. Very subtle, not supposed to be that way. So I sealed up this part, and I checked the diaphragm beforehand, before I sealed this up, to make sure everything was good. So the diaphragm is pretty much high temperature silicone, and you want to make sure that it's closed in here properly with these bolts on top. So I did all of that, making sure it's good. And now I'm ready to add it into circulation. So this is 2.5 inches right here. And basically what I did was I marked the pipe exactly where this piece fits. So it fits right in between there perfectly. And basically this is the throttle body side. I want to kind of have it something like this. I'm going to have to stand the pipe up and cut it and all that good stuff, but I want to have it aimed towards the front, just like that. And you know, of course, going to clear the hood, so it's going to be kind of tilted down a little bit, but when you look in the engine bay, it should be like this. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut in front of this line and in front of this line, cut that, and then I'm going to add in this piece, mark it before I add it because you have to make sure it's in the right angle, and then I'm going to check that in the car to make sure everything is good, and this will be ready to get welded. And just like that, from the intercooler all the way to the throttle body, she is now complete and ready for action. So basically what we're going to do is weld this up and see what we got. So it's going to be fun. And with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. There's going to be a lot more to come. Make sure you stay tuned, subscribe, hit that thumbs up button, and update your notifications. And I will see you guys next time. And remember, knowledge is power. And I will see you next episode.